I'm pulling my hair out all night on this one. Episode 2376, Excel 3D map with custom KML shapes. In this case, population by census tract. Thanks to this question from PWRO 12 hours ago. On my video, Cool Ways to Analyze Zip Codes in Excel. Is it possible to quickly, that's hilarious, create this type of map using different jurisdictional boundaries other than postal codes? How would one go about doing this? Well, I knew that back here on the Insert tab, the map chart doesn't support it, but 3D map, that's only in Excel for Windows, will support custom KML files. I knew it. I had never tried it before and have been beating my head against the wall all night. Thanks to Suad Osgar for helping me to at least be able to parse this KML data into Excel. First off, there's going to be 4 parts to this video. I imagine it's going to be insanely long, and most people are only going to need to watch the first quarter of it. How to do the mapping in 3D map. Just so I can document where I got the population data, where to get the KML file, and then finally, Suat's code to clean and merge that. Most of you will only need to watch the first quarter, and you can be on with your life because you already have a KML file and you already have data for it. So what does a KML file look like? Well, it's basically XML with a .kml extension. There's 5,000 census tracts, but yet it goes down to row 120,000. For each record, we have all of these fields, and then below that, some latitude and longitude coordinates to draw the polygon. So looking at these fields for one particular census tract, I originally thought, oh, look, tract CE 134.09, 134.09. I figured that would be the field. But it turns out that every county has a census tract 1 and a census tract 2 and a census tract 3. So once I actually looked at the census.gov data, the population data, it has this long geo ID, and that mapped to this AFF geo ID. So this is the field that I need to map. Figuring out which field matches a field in your data is really important when we get to 3D map. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Excel file. Much later in this video, I'll show you how we put all of those 2 files from the Census Bureau into this file, but AFF geo ID is the key field. That's the important part, and I'm going to map it by population. I'm also going to color it by county, which is name LSAD county. We start with our data here. We go to the Insert tab. We go to 3D map and let that load. And of course, they choose to map by county. That's not what we're going to do. But before we can add a field here, we have to tell Excel about our KML file. So I have a folder out here, C:\AAA KML maps, and there's the file that I downloaded from the Census Bureau. 2 other files here. Back here on the Home tab, we go to Custom Regions. We're going to import a new set. We choose that set, click Open. All right, now let's give it a better name. So these are census tracts, and the important part here is which field matches a field in our data. And so that's the AFF geo ID. And we click Import. Now that that is imported, we can add a field, and it's the AFF geo ID. Over here under Select One, of course, they have no clue what it is, and you come down here to Custom Region KML.SHP as opposed to Custom Region Set. And we say that that's what we want to map by. And you have to check right here that 100%. When I first started doing this, and I was just using the tract, I was getting like 3% matches. It was only the tracts that were completely unique that didn't appear in any other counties. And then we're going to change to a region map here. All right, and it just did it. It just drew in all of the little census tracts. We're going to say that we want to map population as the value, and then the county right here. This is the county field, will be the category, so we get different colors. All right, so this is great. Usually I get rid of the legend here, but in this case the legend is super useful. We'll just come here to my county. Brevard County is kind of in green, so Brevard County goes from 0 to 11,426. And the most dense, that's probably like right there, yeah. All right, let's see, can I find myself up here in Merritt Island? Yep, right there. So we're in census tract 698.01, population 3,621. All right, so there we go. That's success. Pulling in a KML file and mapping data by the custom KML. For most of you, that's all you needed. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel. Okay, but let's talk about everything we did to get to this point, to have this data. Where to get the population data? Tricky. It's tricky. We come out here to data.census.gov. To get data by census tract, you're going to go to advanced search. First thing you want to do is go to geography and say that I want it by census tract, and they want to say which state. So I'm going to choose Florida, and then all census tracts within Florida. If you're just doing a county thing, by all means, just get the county information. And then topics. We want populations and people. All right, so that sets our filters first. Then we go to tables, and right here, P1. This is the table that we need. It is a huge table, and it's too large to display. With a smaller county, you would actually see what is going on here, all 140 columns. Okay, I am in Google Chrome. Super annoying here. Then when you click download table, a little counter comes up here, shows how far, and then the file will never download. Thanks, Google. You're blocking it as a pop-up. Click download table. We want 2020, download CSV, and it is preparing your files. Pop-ups were blocked. Always allow pop-ups and redirects from data.census.gov. Again, download CSV. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the folder. And inside that folder is the several different fields, column descriptions, table notes, but that's the one that has all of our data. Okay, next part of the video, where to get the KML file. I would just Google this, cartographic boundary files. It's a long URL up there. And cruise down through here for the thing that finally shows census tracts. They're offering a KML file. You have to choose the state, and it downloaded that zip code file without any hassle, and just extract all of these to a new folder on your computer. Okay, let's talk about how to import that data into Excel. So on the data tab, from text CSV, we're going to go to where you save the census data, that file first, that's the population. Click transform data. I only need the first 3 columns, so I choose column 1, shift click on column 3, and then say remove the other columns. I'm going to get rid of row 1, so remove rows, remove top rows, and number of rows, remove 1. And then I'm going to promote these headings, use first row as headers, geography is fine, geography area name. I'm going to change this total to say population. And then we'll give this a name of population. The census tracts. Well, this is one that unfortunately you're not going to be able to build using the Power Query editor. Down in the YouTube description, you can download this workbook. You're going to come in to Power Query, go to census tracts, and edit right here where your file is. Once you've edited the path and name of the file, things are going to work out pretty good. You can look here, we end up with all of the fields. It's gotten rid of all the geography, little latitude and longitude diagrams. In my case, I filtered down to the 5 fields that I felt that I needed, grouping each item into 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then finally pivot the columns into this. We don't really need group, and this AFFGO ID is going to be the piece that I need to map to population. We call the census tracts. That's great. Over here, new query, combine, merge queries. We're going to start from the census tracts. We're going to link in the population, and it is AFFGO ID here and geography here. We're looking for 5122 of 5122. That means that everything is working. That's really good. And then out here, we want to bring the population out. Click OK. And they call it population 1 because we already have a name of population. I'm going to name that 2020. This is population by census tract. I'm going to do close and load to bring it into Excel. All right, so there you go. From here, just go back to the first section of the video in order to create the 3D maps. Well, hey, thanks to PWRO for sending that great question in. Thanks to Sue Oscar for helping me parse that KML file. Power of Gray made short work of it. I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.